Hello, it's me, Kathleen from the Office of Online Learning, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about Zoom. Especially if you are teaching a video conference class or course, you are probably going to use Zoom quite a bit. So that being said, I would like to give you an opportunity to learn a little bit about it. You can use Zoom a lot, and you can use a lot of its features, or you can just use some of its features. Today, I'm giving you a brief overview of Zoom. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm taking my face off the screen, and you can do that as a participant as well when you're in a Zoom meeting or if you're the host. If you go down, if you bring your mouse to the bottom left of the screen, you'll see Stop Video. You can't see it right now because I'm not sharing my screen, but I'll be doing that soon. So I click on Stop Video, and I am going to go into my Share Screen option. And now you should be able to see my screen. And as you can see up here, I have you are screen sharing, and it says stop share. That's when you would go back to the meeting. People aren't seeing the screen anymore. And then there are also some controls or features here that you can use. So how does one get into Zoom? You go to the My Mass Associate portal. And you scroll down to the launch pad and you will see Zoom conferencing. And if you click on Zoom conferencing, you will see, you'll have several items on the left that you can choose from. The first thing you'll see is schedule a meeting. You're already registered through the college, and we suggest you use the college Zoom conferencing tool because we probably offer more than the free Zoom that people sign up for on their own. So I'm going to go to profile to start with. And in the profile, you'll have your name and all kinds of information. And then you will also see a personal meeting number. And here's the one that you want to pay attention to. This is the URL. This is a dedicated URL. If you don't want to set up meetings one by one, you could just copy this URL and paste it in an email, in an Outlook invite, in your Canvas course, on a page, in your syllabus, whatever you want to do. And every time the students are going to meet with you at a designated time, they would just click on that one link. If you prefer not to do that, then you can go into meetings or go up here and schedule a meeting. That's the next item on the list. If you click on meetings, this gives you an opportunity to schedule a new meeting in the future. So I'm going to click on schedule a new meeting. I can name it something, okay, Zoom training meeting. I can give it a description if I want to. I can set up the date and time. So we're going to have this meeting on the 19th at 1:30 p.m. If you want to do AM, you just change it here. And I think I will make it 9:30 a.m. only because there are people who want to enjoy their Friday afternoon. So I'm changing it to 9:30 a.m. It's going to be an hour. You can change the amount of time, the duration of the meeting. It is going to be Eastern time. It is not a recurring meeting, but if you wanted it to be, if you wanted to meet every Friday at 9:30, you could make it a recurring meeting. And change the, do you want it every week? Do you want it once a month? Do you want it twice a month? Do you want an end date, or you just want to end it after a certain amount of occurrences? You can also decide if you want to require a registration number for participants to enter. Okay. You can also have a meeting ID number automatically generated, or you could use your personal ID number, meeting ID. I would say just go with generate automatically. You can ask them to do a password, add a password. You can decide whether or not you want to see their faces when they enter the meeting, or if you want them to see your face entering the meeting. That's what video means. It doesn't mean recording. Video means seeing your live face. You can decide whether they want to join with the telephone or join with the computer audio. In this case, we're joining both. And then you have some meeting options for this meeting you set up. You can have them join the meeting before the host gets there. So you might have several people in the meeting chatting with each other before you get in there as the host. You can mute your participants upon entry. What that means is as soon as they enter the meeting, their microphone will be muted, so you don't hear any background noise, and they will unmute it when they want to speak. You can enable them to wait in a waiting room before the meeting starts, rather than let them go into the room until the host shows up. And you can also opt to have authenticated users. In other words, they would go through, they would log in to My Massasoit, and then they would go in as the faculty, rather than as a personal email address. And then you save the meeting. All right, so then you will see here is a dedicated link just for that meeting. It's different than the link that you see in your profile. Here is your profile link. Oh, I call it the dedicated link. Now we have to go into the meeting, as you can see. And this is the link for that specific meeting. So when you're ready to start that meeting, you'll just go back to My Massasoit, go into Zoom, go into meetings, and you'll start the meeting right here. If you've decided not to have the meeting, you can delete it here. So this is, you know, some of the stuff that you can do in Zoom, which is really great. We also have settings, and the settings are global settings. So if all the things we checked off before in this meeting, all of these items that we had here, we can now do it globally instead of doing it for every meeting. Of course, these settings have even more global options. Look how far this goes down. It goes on and on and on and on. And when you have a chance, just read some of these. This is the off position, and you can actually read what that feature means. So read all of these, all right? So these are your global settings. If you choose these settings, they affect every meeting you conduct, not just the one you create. We have an account profile. Account profile is really nothing you will get involved with, but it gives you account information on how you're set up in the Massasoit Zoom account. You can also run reports if you decided you can have different meeting reports or different usage reports, which are really great, something you can check on. You can also attend trainings or have live chat sessions with Zoom. Here are live trainings. Here are video tutorials from Zoom. And here is a knowledge base. So it's really nice about the knowledge base. It's like a Canvas guide. You go into it, you ask a question, and it will pop up with answers or articles about your question. You also have a chat, a support chat here through Zoom if you have general questions. Okay, so those are all the wonderful things you can do in Zoom. Now, I'm going to go back into the meeting. So I'm going to click on down here, and I'm going back into the meeting, and I'm going to stop my share. Okay, and you'll see that I'm back with you, and now you no longer, but you don't see me because I muted my video. There are plenty of functions at the bottom of your screen when you're a host that you can get involved with. What's kind of tough about it, though, is you can't see it while I'm hosting it. I don't believe. I'm going to try that one more time. I'm going to share the screen, and I don't think we can actually see the items at the bottom, but I'm going to try. Let's see. No. When I'm sharing the screen, those items at the bottom now appear at the top, right here. And all of these have different features as well when I do my screen share. But something that I can show you is I took a picture of a screenshot of what the host screen looks like when they are conducting a meeting. And it is right here. It's not, I just put a screenshot in PowerPoint. So when you are conducting a meeting, remember we just went over this, how to Zoom conference. When you're conducting a meeting, you have, oh, we just went over this too. And we talked about how this is the really important piece here. And here is the trainings. We just went over all of this. These are just different screenshots of what we already viewed. When you first copy your dedicated URL, or you click on Start Meeting when you set up an actual meeting, we just went over that, it's going to ask you to open your Zoom meeting. You click on that, and it will ask you if you want to use the computer's audio, and you click yes. Usually when you open up your own Zoom meeting, for whatever reason, your screen in the Zoom meeting is minimized, or not minimized, but it's condensed. So you want to click on, there's going to be a little piece of paper here, you click on it and it makes your screen large, okay? So this is how you start. It tells you it's launching it. Your students are clicking on that link, or your faculty members, or whoever it is you're meeting with, and they end up in the room as well. When you first click on this link, this is what you see. And then of course, as I said, you see the Zoom screen over in the corner here, and you can make that larger. If you make it larger, you still will see these, but you have to hover down in order to see them. So I just want to go over briefly what some of these items are. Mute means you're going to mute your audio. So if you're a participant and you're listening or watching, you're in the meeting and you need to get up, or your phone rings, you mute your audio so nobody else can hear it. Like you probably just heard my phone in the background. If you want people to see your face while you're a participant or the host, you'll either mute it or you'll start it. If these are already muted when you went to the meeting, I'm guessing the host selected that option for the meeting, or selected that option for all of your global settings. You have some security options. Okay, your security options, they lock your meeting from outsiders. They allow participants to share their screens, or to chat, or to rename themselves. These are all items that are in the security icon. Then we have manage participants. What does that mean? If you manage participants, you can, it'll show you all the participants in the upper right side of the screen, and you can mute their audio that way as well. Or if somebody does get up and they walk away and you hear sirens in the background, you can just mute them, just a particular participant. Okay, and then we have poll participants. That is such a cool feature. I tried that in one of my trainings, and you can literally ask a question. You click on polls, you ask a question, and you give answers like yes, no, maybe, or yes, I'm interested, no, I'm not interested, and they can poll right in Zoom, and then you can share the poll results with them. It's confidential. It's really a cool thing. We have control chat room options. When people can chat, I think if any of you have attended any of the president's town hall meetings or the provost town hall meetings, you'll see chat room that will allow you to chat with other people, text by text. So that may or may not be available to you. It depends on what the host decides. But the participants and the host can add comments in a chat environment. And the host might let them do private chats with other people in the meeting, or they might just limit it to whoever's hosting the meeting so nobody else is chit-chatting during the meeting. All right, so that's really a great option as well. Then we have share your screen. That's what I'm doing right now, but as you can see, it's here as well. If I muted my video, okay, I decided not to show my face while I'm chatting, I have a couple of options for sharing the screen. I can do it right here, or I can do it right here. Record the meeting. That allows you to record the contents of the meeting so you can share it with others at a later date or people who weren't able to make the meeting. If you're doing it with students, make sure you read the FERPA conditions about sharing a screen. But I do notice with Zoom, if they say if they're recording the screen, I didn't mean sharing, I meant recording, it will say click here to agree. But still read the FERPA information about students. Okay, with faculty, I don't know if it's as stringent, but it is with students. You can stop the recording, you can pause it, you can start it up again at any time, that's up to you. Okay, breakout rooms, that's a really cool feature as well. If you are teaching students, and let's say you ask them a general question in the meeting and you said, well, we're not gonna all respond in the discussion together. But if you have 30 students or 25 students, you might say to them, well, we're going to go into breakout rooms. And you can click on breakout rooms and you can decide how many rooms you want, how many students in a room, okay? It says right here. You can set up breakout rooms so students can meet in smaller groups, discussions, or tasks. You can set a time for them to meet so they know, well, you only have 3 minutes left to chat before you go back to the big meeting room. All right, so that's really a great feature you can use. And of course, you can end the meeting or leave the meeting as the host. If you are, and it also has it up here when you're in your Zoom screen. It has, you can end the meeting if you're the host, or you can leave the meeting if you're a participant. These are just some of the functions, and we're going to play with these over the next few Zoom meetings. So I hope you enjoyed this, and when we have our Zoom meeting, we'll talk about it again, and then we'll even have the members, we're gonna try polling, we're gonna try putting you in breakout rooms, and then you will be able to do it with other members of the training. So that being said, I'm going to stop my share. And you're only seeing my picture because my video is muted. Or my picture, I'm going to go back to, here I am. Hello. So that was a little bit of a long meeting, but orientation to or overview of Zoom. But I wanted you to have just a quick idea of what those things mean. So see you at a Zoom meeting.